President, as I've said before, and I want to make this very clear, I don't hate anybody. I don't. I look for grace wherever I can find it. And when I say my prayers, one of the things I ask my Maker for is, please God, don't let me hate, because sometimes it's hard here in Washington. There have been many a morning when I've gotten up in my overpriced Capitol Hill apartment and I'm walking over here to the Capitol and I give myself a pep talk. I talk to myself. I say, Kennedy, today you're going to follow Jesus. And by 10 o'clock, I still want to follow Jesus, but I also want to slap the hell out of somebody.
Hello, Americans. In today's video, we're diving into Senator John Kennedy's fiery takedown of the Biden administration's latest bureaucratic mess, a bank merger rule that's strangling small-town America. We'll break down what changed, why it's crushing community banks, and how Kennedy is leading the fight to undo this madness. If you care about Main Street small business and fighting big government overreach, you need to hear this. Before we go any further, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the Republican Forum, ring the bell for notifications, and share this video so we can wake more patriots up to what's really happening.
But President Biden and his people had the remarkable ability to take something that wasn't broken and try to fix it. They would take something that wasn't broken in government and take it apart, loosen a few screws, and then it would be broken. In a few minutes, I'm going to ask the Senate to vote to try to repair some damage that President Biden's folks did in that regard. It has to do with banks. As you know, Mr. President, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, I'll call it the OCC, so you'll know what I'm talking about. The OCC regulates our banks. And that includes big banks, but also small banks. We've got more small banks in America than we have big banks. In fact, our smaller banks throughout this wonderful country make most of the loans to ordinary people. A lot of the big banks now, if you're just an average small businesswoman or businessman and you need a loan, you go to the larger banks and they won't even see you. You have to go to a small bank to get that loan.
Senator John Kennedy, one of the few voices of reason left in Washington, just gave a no-nonsense speech that cut straight to the fog of liberal regulation and government overreach. He's calling out the Biden administration for wrecking a system that's worked for nearly 3 decades. And folks, he's absolutely right. Let's lay it out. Since 1995, small community banks, the backbone of small-town America, operated under simple rules for mergers. If 2 small banks wanted to join forces, they just had to answer 14 yes or no questions. Straightforward, efficient, no nonsense. And if the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or OCC, didn't respond within 15 days, the merger was automatically approved. That's how you do government. Smart, fast, and with respect for people's time and money. Exactly. And what did Biden's people do? They threw that simple process in the trash and replaced it with a regulatory circus. Now, instead of 14 questions, banks have to submit mountains of paperwork. They're judged on 19 vague criteria and forced to prove they align with 13 so-called positive indicators, while avoiding 6 negative ones. Whatever that means. They've basically written a rule so complicated, you need a Harvard Law degree just to read it, much less follow it. Kennedy said it best, this thing reads like Sanskrit. And who pays for this mess? You do. Small banks merge to stay alive, to cut costs, expand services, and survive the endless regulations dumped on them by DC elites. But with this Biden rule, they have to spend thousands on lawyers just to merge. And those costs? They're passed directly on to customers. That's why your fees are going up. That's why credit is harder to get. That's why your neighbor can't open his business. This is about more than just banks. It's about government choking out freedom. Again, it's about a president and his unelected bureaucrats waging war on small-town America, on job creators, on the hardworking folks who built this country. Meanwhile, the big banks, they're just fine. They can afford teams of lawyers and lobbyists. It's the little guys who get crushed just the way the left likes it. Say what you want about Kennedy. The man doesn't miss. This rule is insane. And he's not asking for anarchy. He's asking to go back to a rule that worked for over 25 years without issue. This resolution matters. This isn't just about fixing a regulation. It's about restoring sanity to government. It's about respecting the people who run businesses, raise families, and keep this country moving. Patriots, here's what you need to do right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Republican Forum, share this video with everyone who loves freedom. This country doesn't run on bureaucrats. It runs on grit, on faith, on freedom. And if we don't stand up now, we'll lose it one paper-pushing rule at a time. Thank you, Senator Kennedy, for standing strong. And thank you, the American people, for continuing to fight. God bless our small banks. God bless the Constitution. And God bless the United States of America.